We are now days away from the 104th running of the Indianapolis 500, and while the circumstances might not be what we expected or hoped for, it still may prove to be one of the most exciting Indy 500s in recent years. So, let's take a look at what's to come. The main story that arose from practice was the apparent lack of pace out of all the Chevrolet cars, and that perplexed many. After all, Chevy teams have been the superior teams in the past years, locking out the front row last year along with 3 other spots in the Fast 9. This led many to believe that the Chevy cars may have been sandbagging, hiding their true pace until qualifying. However, as qualifying neared, this proved to be less and less likely. Team Penske driver and 2018 Indy 500 champion Will Power gave an interview stating quite bluntly that they didn't have the pace to compete with the Honda-powered cars, and this would prove to be true in qualifying. Two-time world champion Fernando Alonso has had a controversial history at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and he's only attempted the race twice. He, in 2017, had apparently the pace to win, but had to retire late in the running due to an engine failure. And then last year, famously, was bumped from the field by Kyle Kaiser after drama during practice, including a crash and not having the backup car ready. He unfortunately suffered another crash again this year. Alonso became the first car of the event to crash, crashing his number 66 McLaren nearing the end of the second practice session. He clipped the concrete berm in turn 4 and unsuccessfully attempted to save the car as it steered helplessly towards the turn 4 wall. He impacted the wall hard and then slid across the track towards the pit wall. Luckily, he missed the pit attenuator, but it was still a scary incident. Alonso had been showing pace in practices 1 and 2, but following the incident has struggled to really find that pace again, whether that's a confidence thing or the car thing. It's unclear. Alonso has confirmed that since it will be joining Renault for another run in Formula 1 next year, he will not be competing in the Indy 500 for at least the next 2 years. This may be his last chance to join Graham Hill as the second driver in history to claim the Triple Crown of motorsport. It came time for qualifying, and the 33 cars took to the track, attempting to make the Fast 9 shootout. Since there were only 33 cars entered this year, there was no risk of bumping. Graham Rahal was the first driver to take to the track, and he went out bright and early for his first run of the day. He was followed by his teammate, 2017 Indy 500 winner Takuma Sato. Both of those would qualify for the Fast 9. One of the big stories were the 2 rookies who qualified for the Fast 9. Dutchman Rinus VeeKay and Spaniard Alex Palou. VeeKay was actually the only Chevrolet to qualify inside the top 10. 4 out of the 6 Andretti Autosport cars made it to the Fast 9, with James Hinchcliffe, Alexander Rossi, Ryan Hunter-Reay, and Marco Andretti all qualifying. They were the fastest 4 cars on Saturday. The final driver to qualify to the Fast 9 was Scott Dixon, current points leader and the driver who won the first 3 races of the year. The biggest disappointments from qualifying were definitely the Chevrolet drivers, as it became clear they had not been sandbagging, they just didn't have the pace. Other than Rinus VeeKay, the fastest Chevrolet driver was Joseph Newgarden, who will be rolling off P13 come race day. Fernando Alonso was unable to really find any pace following his crash and will be rolling off on the middle of the 9th row. On the row behind him is 3-time Indy 500 race winner Helio Castroneves, he was the slowest of the Team Penske drivers and will be starting on the inside of the 10th row. This will make it really hard for Castroneves to push for his 4th and record-tying Indy 500 victory this year. The most disappointing and the slowest entry was the Dragon Speed entry, who last year were able to lock themselves into the Fast 9 on Saturday on pace, But this year did not have any of that pace. Ben Hanley was way off pace. His 4-lap average on Saturday was a 2:22.91. To give you some context, the pole time would end up being a low 1:31 or 2:31. So he was 9 mile an hour slower in his 4-lap average. Pole day came, and it did not disappoint. Takuma Sato was the first car to run and set a blistering 4-lap average of 2:30.725. Ray Hall went second, but didn't have the same pace as his teammate, with a 4-lap average of 2:29.38. Palou was the third car to run and set a 4-lap average of 2:29.676. IndyCar's Flying Dutchman was the fourth car to run, and he had a fantastic run with a 4-lap average of 2:30.704, barely behind Takuma Sato. Scott Dixon was the fifth car to run, and he set the fastest lap at the time with a 2:31.051. He'd be one of two drivers to venture in to set a 2:31 on pole day. The final four to qualify were all the Andretti Autosport cars, with James Hinchcliffe with his one-off ride in the 500 being the first of those cars to run. He set a 4-lap average of 2:29.87. Alexander Rossi, 2016 Indy 500 champ, followed Hinch. Rossi has arguably been the consistently the fastest driver at Indy since he won, and it's been quicker every year since the year he won. In qualifying, though, he was not as quick. He was the slowest of the Fast 9 with a 4-lap average of 2:29.234 mile an hour. Hunter-Reay, the second last driver to run, ran quicker than both his Andretti teammates with a 2:30.648. The final driver to run was Marco Andretti, who had the fastest car all week and was probably the favorite for pole alongside Scott Dixon. He had an amazing run and barely beat out Dixon for the pole with a 4-lap average of 2:31.68. After qualifying, the top 9 look like this. Andretti, Dixon, and Sato will make up row 1. VK, barely missing the front row, will start 4th, with Hunter-Reay and Hinchcliffe to his outside. The final row will be made up of rookie Alex Palou, Graham Rahal, and Alexander Rossi. Now we can take a look at my race predictions. This will just be rough, not based off too much except what I think is going to happen. So my prediction for race winner will be Alexander Rossi. I think he's been the best driver in the race in the past 3 years since he's won. He'll be starting 9th, but I think he'll be quick enough and have the car in traffic, have the confidence in traffic to make passes. So that is my prediction for race winner. Alexander Rossi will claim his second Indy 500 victory, getting some redemption for last year with that controversial finish with Simon Pagenaud. My prediction for runner-up is New Zealander and current points leader Scott Dixon. I think regardless of his pace, he'll be competing for a decent result. That's really what Dixon's been able to do all year. Whether he's had the pace or not, he's been good enough in the race to get a good result, and I think that's what Dixon will be able to do. My prediction for third and for Rookie of the Year is Dutchman Rinus VK. I think with the coaching VK has and the team at Ed Carpenter Racing, who's been one of the fastest teams at Indy, I think VK will definitely have the car to push for the win. I don't think he'll be able to beat out the likes of Rossi or Dixon, but he is my pick for third place. The reason I didn't put Marco Andretti here is I don't think he'll be able to outrace Rossi or Dixon, but I would definitely put him as a shot for the third. The top 5, I think, is where he'll end up. I think the biggest mover of the race will be Elio Castroneves, who has to start on the inside of the 10th row. I think the experience he has at Indy will pay off, and I think he'll definitely finish in the top 10, despite starting deep in the field. So, those have been my predictions for the Indianapolis 500. Let me know what you think. Put your predictions in the comments section below. Make sure to subscribe and like the video. I'll be doing an interview later tonight with Triple Crown Racing. I'll share some more of what I think will happen with the Indy 500, along with stuff such as reacting to the new Project Cars game, talking about my career and how some of you can move up to racing. So definitely check that out. That should be on his channel in the next few days. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.